And welcome everybody to I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at all their locations, live music, entertainment, trivia, at all locations. Great place if you ever want to run a fundraiser. I know they did one today. And just dog adoption events. They have everything over at Fatty Beer. And Buffalo Go Apparel. One of the greatest spots when you want to shop local, get local designs. Make sure you check out at Buffalo Go Co. on Instagram and Twitter, buffalogo.com. When it comes to the Sabres, the Bills, or you just want to represent Buffalo like their blue-collar brand right here, make sure you go check them out at Buffalo Co. on Instagram and Twitter, at Fatty Beer on Instagram and Twitter. I am Duane from Two Goalies, One Mike here with your Sabres post-game show. Sabres lose 6-4 to the Nashville Predators in a game that actually I might have did I screw that up? I did. Yes, I did. Whoopsie daisy. On the score for this game, I actually screwed that up and whoopsie daisy. I wrote 5-4 because I don't count empty netters, so why not? Sabres lose 6-4. Thought we had this one tied up at 5 on an offsides review. It was reversed. Great goal from Zach Benson. Would have been his 10th of the season. But unfortunately, it didn't go in Buffalo's favor. It was offsides. Buffalo just really cost themselves a lot of sloppy play in the D zone today. Probably wanted a save or two from UPL. Not his fault they lost tonight, though. He was left with a dry, especially there in the first period. Rasmus Dahlin just playing at another level tonight. Just absolutely fantastic game from him. And every aspect, every facet of the game, Dahlin was just playing on another world. We saw that beautiful hip check from him on Smith, where literally just did a complete flip through the air. Like if you're to look up hip check in the dictionary or whatever, like you see a video of that hit. I mean, the way he timed it, just the way he picked up speed. It was a beautiful hit. It sucks because I kind of said it in one of the intermission reports. This is not a game where you want to. You kind of like when a goalie plays fantastic. You wasted a great performance. You wasted a great performance from Rasmus Dahlin tonight. Unfortunately, and it sucks. Listen, it sucks. But they were resilient. They fought back after giving up a two goal lead early on, 2-0. They tied it up. Then they gave up another 2-goal lead. They gave 2 late. They gave another 2 goals. They'll be down 4-2. Made it 4-3. Then they came back, scored again, took their 2-goal lead back. Then Dylan Cousins with the 4th goal to make it 5-4, make it interesting. Sabres, again, pounding away. Couldn't get it to the back of the net. And then, of course, they scored an empty net goal. 2 goals from Forsberg, 2 goals from Brady Ski. I think that's how you say his last name. That's a team you have to beat. Nashville has struggled all season long. They haven't lived up to their own expectations with the moves they made in the offseason. Guys like Steven Stamkos be at the top of the list. They're a much slower team. I said, our keys to the game, Razor's key to the game. I said, you got to use your speed to beat a team like this. You're faster, you're younger. I think you have better top end talent. And they do have guys like Stamkos, Marchessault, Ski. Like they have talent on that roster, but you got to be able to win a game like that for 5 in a row too. Unfortunately, again, I'm not going to sit here and rail them for playing a terrible game because they kept it interesting. They fought back, they battled. But listen, I'm almost not really interested in like moral victories, right? Who is? Nobody's interested in moral victories. I can't stand another season of moral victories, right? It's not something I care to give any credit to, for lack of saying it in any better way. You need to win. You need points. You didn't get that tonight. No matter how great any individual play like Dahlin did tonight, no, great. You clawed yourself back into this game. No matter how you didn't back down physically, and I don't believe they did. There are a couple big hits out there tonight. I think they're responding well physically. You didn't win. You didn't win. You didn't beat a team you should have beat. Bottom line. So we're going to go right here to Mauricio in the comments to lead things off. Bottom line, Duane, poor puck management, turnovers by first line, -3, all line forcing offensive chances, panicking, odd man rushes all night, poor puck awareness and player awareness, puck watching. Yeah, that line wasn't good tonight. That line wasn't good tonight at all. Again, like he said, -3. More from Mauricio. Bottom of NHL standings, Buffalo Sabres giving up odd man rushes caused by poor puck management, turnovers by forwards. Yeah, Tuck had a really bad one tonight. Listen, that whole the defensive zone turnovers, man, you just can't have that, right? You cannot have that. Really bit him in the ass tonight. Third line, Krebs, Quinn, Cousins failing, Krebs offsides, Krebs 4 measly goals. Center pathetic, Cousins and Quinn invisible again, 5-on-5. Not just invisible 5-on-5, like Jack Quinn on the power play. Why? Why is Jack Quinn on the power play? Like, can someone explain that to me? He was god awful tonight, just giving away pucks, not like just folding under pressure. Not, again, to your point, Mauricio, poor puck management. Snowstorm in Toronto. Wish I was in California. Pool party with Hurls. A wingman blow these blow. Oh man, no, he had a golf tournament today, so he couldn't make it. But and of course, 3 hours difference. Yeah, what are we doing with Jack Quinn on the power play? Like, I don't understand it. Is Kulik on the other side? Like, I didn't even notice. Like, I mean, I've been impressed with Kulik all season. Even tonight, there were a couple of times where he really got back on on the back check. Played extremely well. I mean, I shouldn't say extremely well. He was the score sheet, but like, you know what I mean? Like, his game as a whole is really developing. And I gotta say, I've been really happy with him. Was he on the power play tonight? Can someone in the chat confirm that? If he was on the first power play unit, I don't feel like he was. I'm tired of seeing Jack Quinn just fumble pucks and wait too long to shoot, having his shots blocked. Like, you got to get that guy off the power play. He's snake bitten again. So, from Gargalant, no excuse to lose the game. UPL looked rusty. I would have went with Reimer or called up Levi. They had a long break in between games. What was it? Tuesday they played, and Saturday. So they had plenty of time to rest. Yeah, I thought UPL looked rough for sure. Ottawa, Columbus, Detroit, Boston, Pittsburgh Islanders all lost multiple factor. Yeah, like all the teams you really needed to lose in the division, like lost tonight. To Maurice's point, Ottawa, Columbus, Detroit, Boston, Pittsburgh Islanders all lost. Like, you're not going to get nights like that. Like, you're not going to get nights like that where you could literally gain 2 points on everybody in front of you in the standings. That's inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. To lose a game like this against a team that's like older than you, slower than you, less talented than you to an extent. Like, I like Philip Forsberg. I like Marchessault. They have good talent on that team, but at the end of the day, you're faster, and I genuinely believe your top end talent is better, and that your top end talent didn't show up tonight, and theirs did. Plain and simple. Did you see the backhand pass Krebs made to Byram? He was a force all night. Unfortunate offsides because Benson lollygagged. Yeah, that was a beautiful backhand sauce pass from Krebs. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Why didn't Reimer play hot hand? UPL struggled. Rusty, slow, rough, relies too much on UPL. Show confidence in Reimer. Yeah, I thought Reimer played really well earlier in the week, but I think Lindy has made it pretty clear that UPL is the workhorse goalie of this team, and he's going to ride him as long as he can. Unfortunately, you didn't get the results you wanted to tonight. Duane, are you around at Fatty Beer tonight? I am not. Probably could use a Fatty Beer though. their F yeah beer specifically is one of my favorites. Quinn falls down more than Weebles. Damn, Duane, you posted the link 15 minutes ago. I mean, I'm live, man. Unfortunately, when you're running the show by yourself, things take a few minutes to get together. So, Quinn healthy scratch, falling down, no strength and shot, no balance, no scoring finesse. Can't find open spaces. Yeah, Jack Quinn is a goal scorer. He's here to score goals. That's why you drafted him. The incredible ability he had in the OHL with the Ottawa 67s. Like, that's why you picked him, right? I know injuries played a factor here early in his career, but the guy is not scoring. He's not. And just another draft pick we're sitting here questioning. I hope we're all wrong. I hope he figures it out. But a night like tonight where your top line isn't, showing up on the score sheet, could have really, really used a guy like Jack Quinn showing up on the score sheet. So it's unfortunate. I really think they need to get him off that top power play unit, though, because he is not at all pulling his weight. Ryan O'Reilly, 4 assists, career high, stepped up. Talent burns Sabres pride. Yeah, again, and I would love, by the way, I know we've talked about it. I would love to have Ryan O'Reilly back on this team if you're willing to come back. Just not even just a leadership standpoint, but just he still has it to an extent. He's still like a 50-point player. You could probably get him cheap. Nashville's gonna be selling off pieces. If he's willing to come here, I'd love to have him back. Guy has a cup, won it with St. Louis. Would love to have him back in Buffalo if he was ever willing to come back. I want to see that Cousins for Pettersson trade happen before the return to play. I don't care what else Kevin has to include. Send Owen Power Puff Girl. Quinn is costing Sabres losses. UPL is hot and cold, most undependable goaltender yet. But when you have a hack who couldn't even make it to the NHL as your defensive coach, then what do you want? Yeah, agreed. I should agree. I think UPL has been really good this year in many, many games. Unfortunately, this team isn't responsible enough on their own end. And UPL isn't at that point in his career where you can just be bad defensively and have your goaltender steal you game night in and night out like the ways like Hasek and Miller used to. Like, he's just not there yet in his career. He could be. I think we've seen evidence of it. But they had this kid sign a 5-year deal, and you needed him to make a couple extra saves tonight, and he didn't. And again, I go back to the point I made earlier. All those teams that lost that are in front of you in the standings, and if you really want to take the rest of the season seriously and think that you can get yourself back into it, tonight was a must-win. Now, you could have gained 2 points on a lot of teams in the standings, and instead you choked it out. You choked. Sucks. So, I really don't know what to say. I agree with Mikey C here. You can't take this team seriously. They win 4 in a row. And they show like games like tonight too, even offensively, like from your bottom 3 lines. You get production in different areas of the game. Excuse me, sorry. Getting a little late tonight. You get production. You get production from Cousins there on the power play. You get production from your defenseman, Byram and Darlene with both goals, Tuck scoring. Like, your top line not showing up, but like it just sucks. Because you see how like guys like Tage have the ability to take over games. This just goes up to another game against a team that on paper you should beat. On paper you should beat because you are the better team, or at least you're supposed to be. I think you are the more talented team. As much as I want to rip this team a new one, like they did show resiliency. God, what am I saying? I don't want to be here for moral victories, man. I just can't. I can't. From Mark Miller, everyone needs to stop buying tickets, and Pagula will have to do something. I am at the point where he could just sell the team since he doesn't care at all about it. Listen, I agree with you guys. It's infuriating that in a season where there was a 13-game losing streak, you're sitting at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. You lose a game like tonight where you can gain a lot of ground in this potential playoff race. It's frustrating to see no activity at all. And you hear the reports coming out. I forget who it was that reported it. Maybe you guys can remind me, but it was reported that Kevin Adams has been difficult to deal with other GMs in the league. When it comes to guys like Cousins and what he wants. And like, I get it, man. I totally understand it. Like, you've seen how many players now that you've traded away go and almost immediately win a Stanley Cup, between Reinhart, between Eichelton, O'Reilly, Brandon Montour, like all these guys that you've traded away. Like, we've seen the mock rosters of teams you can make up of former Sabres, and like, they're all better than this team. It sucks, man. It really, really does. I don't know what to think. And to Mikey C's comment earlier, it's hard to take this team seriously when they don't make the moves that they need to make this team better in the moment. And I don't know, like, we head to the deadline. It every day gets closer and closer. And what are we going to expect? Like, Kevin Adams hasn't, like, and here's the point I agree with. Like, I don't want picks and prospects. I want players that are going to make this team better now. I don't want to trade just the only move that if he doesn't resign, and I've been adamant about this. If Jason Zucker does not sign by the trade deadline, you are trading him. I don't care where you are in the standings. You can't lose that player for nothing, for the return you could get. I think I'm talking with the way at the clip he's playing at, he'll be a 20-plus goal scorer. Like, you could get a first pick and more. First pick and more for him. And then you can flip that stuff on draft day for players. Players that are still under contract. Guys that are heading to their RFA year, that you might be able to re-sign. I don't know, man. Like, or you take a shot at an offer sheet and then you have those picks to make up for it. Like, to me, like, you can't sit here and be irresponsible if you're Kevin Adams. And I understand that you're gun shy because you're afraid of seeing another guy go on and turn it around and win a Stanley Cup or have a massive amount of success. Like again, most recently, Eichel and Reinhart have done. But at what point do you have to take a chance here? And take a chance, whether it's with Cousins, whether it's with Power, it's Byram. Like, we all know how I feel. Like, I think Bowen Byram over Owen Power. And I hope we can keep all three of them. If you can find a way to get rid of Matthias Samuelsson, if there's a demand around the league for him because he's a right-handed shot, then you do that. And you sign all three guys. The cap is going to go up. Why not? From Jack here. Thanks for tuning in, Jack. Adams thinks the NHL is the NFL. He thinks he can build his team through the draft. And you can, and you can, and you can't. The NHL drafts 18-year-olds and are not ready. The NFL drafts 23-year-olds. It's true, man. Like, when you're drafting players into the NFL, you're drafting guys that are so farther along in their development than for the majority of your draft class in the NHL. If your entire core is 22, they won't be fully ready until they're 25, 26. Again, it's true. Yeah, same thing goes with goalies. Like Ryan Miller, for instance, wasn't ready to be in the NHL until he was 25, 26 years old. I'm finally actually angry that Adams is the GM and it's not getting done. Ruff needs to resign. Sabres players tuning him out. I want to make a point on that. If the players are tuning him out, why is that Ruff's fault? How many coaches has this core group had? At what point is it the players? Why should we sacrifice another coach for the inability of players to buy into a system? And how many systems have they been through now that they haven't bought into? That's on the players, guys. That's on the players. If they don't want to play ball and play within a system that has worked in the past. I mean, again, Lindy was nominated for the Jack Adams not even 2 years ago. And in my opinion, was wrongfully fired by a team that didn't have a goaltender and was dealing with so many injuries. I thought he was the scapegoat. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and demand that Lindy Ruff resign or be fired. He inherited this team. The only moves they made in the offseason were Jason Zucker, which turned out to be a good move. But then Beck Malenstein wasn't going to get done. Kubel wasn't going to get done. As nice as Ryan McLeod has been, like, he's been too streaky, way too streaky. I don't know, man. I can't sit here and blame it on Ruff. This is the team he was given, and this is the team he was told he had to win with, and he hasn't been able to because it's not good enough. It's not good enough on a lot of nights. Not deep enough. If the top end talent isn't playing well enough to win, in your top line and a half, you're losing most nights. It just sucks. Rupp needs to be the president, hiring coaching staff, and new GM. I wouldn't disagree with that in the future, but I just don't think it's happened. We keep talking about it. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Assistant coaches need to improve. Yeah, I agree. We've been down this road before. We're beating a dead horse here. Like, the fact that he couldn't pick his own staff was a joke. I've never, to this day, seen a new coach come in and inherit the same coaching staff that he had before. It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. Ruff got stuck with Harbor Center staff, but he had to agree to it. Agreed. They pay these kids too much money. They play good this season before they sign a contract, and they coast and enjoy their long summer vacations. Well, for this summer vacation, I hope these guys take a long, hard look in the mirror because I can't go through another season of seeing guys that don't seem like they've put on the size necessary to play in the NHL. As much as we criticize guys like Rasmus Ristolainen worked his tail off. I remember seeing all the training videos, man. That guy worked his ass off and still does. And you see, it kind of sucks. You see a very big Finnish defenseman playing very well for the Philadelphia Flyers. Probably having his best season of his career. Look at that. I hate saying this out loud, but it's true. Wish he was on this team. Guy always did play with a lot of heart. And we can say that and you know what? We can sit here and criticize him for all the defensive shortcomings, lack of awareness, and Lord knows I was one of his top critics. A lot of us were, but he's having a great year there in Philly, and that's a guy that a guy like Buffalo could use. A guy that plays physical and has a mean streak to him, and maybe you put him on Owen Power's other side with the way he's playing this year, and maybe he turns Owen Power into a better player. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and advocate to go bring back Rasmus Ristolainen, but you know what? The way he's playing this year, if they were to trade him at the deadline, maybe he was worth what Buffalo got for him the first time around. Because that's how good of a year he's had in Philadelphia. Going to bring up some of the post-game comments here via Brian Koziel. So give me one moment here. Damn snowstorm outside. Let's see here. From Brian Koziel. His last tweet was 24 minutes ago. The Red Wings' current wild card number 2 in the East have played at .555 points percentage hockey so far, which is a 91-point place. The Sabres will have to go 21-7 in their final 28 games to get to that 91-point total. Good luck. Lindy said he thought Dahlin might have had the best game of the season. He was dominating every shift, and he really liked Byram's game tonight too. Lindy said they defend to the outside. He wanted more pucks towards the paint. Agreed. Lindy said he thought their top line had a tough night tonight. No shit, Lindy. They were invisible. Lindy, we made 2 big puck plays that we handed them easy offense. On 4 of the goals, we handed them easy offense. Tuck says the group was resilient tonight, but they weren't good enough defensively tonight to win. Tuck said they left UPL out to dry, made some unnecessary mistakes, and it could have been a better result tonight. Says you can't have great shifts and then let them have one good one. Says he will take the blame for the first goal against with his turnover. Byram, as of late, we've been playing really good, getting wins. Even beyond that 13-game skid we went on, we haven't been that bad. Byram says they just gave Nashville too many chances to score, and they have players that have scored a lot of goals in the league. Byram, I think we have a lot of good chances to score. We tied the game. It gets called back. I thought we created quite a bit and definitely had the chance to win the game. Yeah, couple of turnovers and coverages that cost you. Yeah, I think the moral of the story for tonight, is you just got to be more responsible with the puck in the defensive zone. And that cost tonight. Tuck took responsibility for that first goal against that costly turnover. Got one back later on in the game in the third period. But listen, or was it the second period? Sorry. No, it was the third period. Right? I can't remember, guys. I think it was the second period, Tuck's goal. Anyways, yeah, you got to play 60 minutes of hockey. You got to have good puck management. You have to be able to play in all three zones. They didn't do that tonight. And it just sucks, man, because if you're just trying to be an optimist like I am, you're trying to have faith, until the day they say that's been mathematically eliminated. Tonight was an important night with all those teams that lost in the standings. Tonight could have been a night where you could have gained 2 points on all of those teams. And unfortunately, you didn't. You lost in regulation. Didn't even get a point out of it. I don't know. I'm just over it, man. I'm over it. Thank goodness for all of you that come into the chat and join me for these shows. I couldn't appreciate you guys anymore. Even tonight when I don't have a voice, I don't know what's going on, why I can't talk, but I don't know. I don't know where to go from here. It stinks. Definitely sucks. Good to see, both Darlene and Byram continue their fantastic play. Denny Gilbert with a 3-game assist streak. Bowen Byram with his 100th career point. Just find positivity out of this game tonight. I don't know. I just, God, they should have won tonight. Should have had this one. Just played too soft below the dots in your own end. Played too irresponsibly. They weren't physical enough in a lot of areas, even though there was a lot of physicality in this game. I liked some of the scrums, standing up for each other, standing up for yourselves. You have to like that. But none of that matters. None of that matters because you lost. You lost. So, yes, Mario Bobo there in the chat. This is a Sabres podcast. We are new to the Built-in Buffalo family. They are carrying Sabres coverage now. So sorry if you came in here expecting Bills coverage. We got a little bit of break here for the Four Nations tournament. Fortunately, we had, at the very least, Tage Thompson robbed of his spot on that team and that roster. Sucks. We get the chance to see guys like Rasmus Dahlin hopefully shine for, representing their country. And then, Henry Jokiharju recently being named to that team in Finland. Excuse me. And also UPL in that goalie rotation. We'll see if he gets a chance to play. Be pretty cool. I don't know. I just got a long break here. I don't know if there's a roster freeze. I'm not sure if you guys know in the chat if it is a roster freeze until the end of the Four Nations tournament. But if there isn't, I hope Kevin Adams finds a way to figure it out, make a move to make this team better. Would have been easier to get me on board with chasing a wild card spot, even where you are in the standings, if you would have won tonight. Tonight hurt a lot. Tonight definitely hurt a lot. Tonight was like losing into a division opponent. Instead, you didn't gain ground on any of the teams in front of you that lost tonight, and there was quite a few of them. So, listen, guys, I'm going to hang up and listen. Just remember, this has been brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room, with over 300 beers to choose from at all their locations. Fatty Beer is one of the best spots to go get my personal favorite, the FEA beer. Whether it's during happy hour, trivia night, they have a live band. They have everything going at all their locations, and just great vibes. And make sure you tell them the Two Goalies One Mike sent you. They'll take care of you, I promise. And as always, Buffalo Go Apparel. Always shop small business, shop local. They have some great Buffalo Bills gear. They have some hockey stuff on there. Hopefully it's more student. Or if you just want to represent Buffalo, they have the Blue Collar brand. One of my favorites. A hoodie I have is incredible. One of the most comfortable ones I do have. I just, get a little bit of a break here for a week. They come back on, let me see. I want to say it's the 22nd. So hopefully these guys reevaluate. February 22nd against the Rangers, and then they play the Ducks, the Hurricanes, the Canadians, and back-to-back, the Sharks, the Lightning, the Panthers, the Oilers, the Red Wings, the Gold. That's a tough schedule coming up. But yeah, we will not be seeing them again until the 22nd. So it's a nice little break, kind of put a reset on our brains, and hopefully there's some changes made to this roster. So I don't know. We'll see. Just want to remind you guys that if you do enjoy our content, please, if you're watching on Facebook, hit the like, share this video. If you're watching on Twitter, hit that retweet button, or X, the repost button. Make sure you're following us. You can find me at Duane S39. You can find the podcast at Two Goalies One Mike. You can find my co-host Connor Hurley at CHeroes13. And most importantly, if you're watching on YouTube, please do us a favor. Make sure you're slamming that like button. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Hit the little bell notification so you know when we go live. Really appreciate it. And especially when you like and comment. Helps us with the algorithm. Helps us get noticed more out there in the YouTube world, and helps monetize this thing. So I can't stress it enough. I appreciate it. Thanks for always coming in and tuning in and joining me in the chat. And we pull up your questions, show your comments. Love the community we've built here, and another season of losing Sabres hockey. I couldn't do this show without you guys, and I genuinely mean that. So that's right, Mario. Let's go Buffalo. I'll talk to you guys later. And as always, go Sabres.